It's now day 2 of the construction of your balsa panels. In the first day we constructed just the perimeters, and all we were making were 90-degree cuts. That means the top and bottom had 90 degrees. So you can see right there where two timbers meet, it was a straight cut. Today, and if we need to, tomorrow, we're going to make all the interior cuts of our pieces. If we didn't make angled cuts and we placed the sticks inside the panels, we would have gaps of wood. So I'm going to place this stick right there. One timber is not completely touching the other timber. It's only touching in just little edges. So what we've got to figure out is how to make this cut so that timber touches timber and there's no gaps of air. The best way to do this is to lay the timber down on the design and extend it past where we want that joint to be made. I'll make a mark. Instead of placing it directly inside the timber cutter, we'll have to put it on an angle inside the timber cutter. And you can see those sticks don't have any air in between them. My next step is to make the other cut at the bottom. Make the mark, place it inside the timber cutter, and place it back on my design. And you can see the balsa sticks are having more contact with each other, no gaps of air. In my next step, I'm going to need to cut one stick here and one stick there. So I'm going to go ahead and lay that down. You can see that my angle isn't quite right.
So I'll make that mark, put it in my timber cutter. In the timber cutter, now I'm ready for my next cut.
And you can see I continue on with this process, making balsa sticks touch with no gaps. I'm going to cut this last stick here in this first panel the wrong way. In fact, the scrap piece of wood that I've got fits almost perfectly until I look at the joint. Up here, you can see there's a gap. That gap can be filled with a shim, S-H-I-M, shim. Shims are pieces of wood that are scraps that we had left over. Now we're ready to make the glue joints. In each spot where two timbers meet on the diagonals, we can add drops of glue and place them back into our panel design. You probably won't need any pieces of tape to hold these down, but if you do, a small piece is all you'll need. You can also just add drops of glue on the top and then smear it in with your finger. It's better to use less than too much. You can always add another drop of glue later, but you can't take it away.